I got a new job. For context, a few months ago, I made this video where I talked about how I lost my previous engineering job. I just lost my engineering job in tech. At the time, I was working in the San Francisco Bay Area as a mechanical design engineer for a startup called Serve Robotics. The startup couldn't get enough funding to keep going, so they had to lay off like half their employees, and unfortunately, I was one of them. I was completely shook because it came literally out of nowhere. Literally the day before I was let go, I was discussing a project that I'd be working on with my manager in the next month, and I was also being complimented for my past work. But hey, that's just life, I guess. Oh, and the CEO and some of the other senior executives at the startup kept reassuring us that we'll be fine through this recession. So then I spent the next 6 months job hunting, and I shared my journey with you on this channel. In total, I've probably applied to hundreds of different positions, mainly through LinkedIn. Out of those hundreds, I interviewed with 17 of them. Metition, DMAG AI, Skydio, Forward, Lunar Energy, Design Think, Apple, Meta, Humane, Phrasey, Boxbot, Bear Robotics, Apple again, Lumina Tech, Ford, Volta Energy, and then Apple one more time. Yes, Apple 3 times. Apple to me is like a toxic ex. They reach out to me, we have a talking stage for a few weeks, maybe a few months, and then when it's time to get serious, they're either ghost me or completely reject me. Anyways, all the roles I applied to were mainly mechanical engineering positions. Most of them I applied to on LinkedIn, but a few I did get through referrals. Some of these companies were in California, the UK, and Canada. Out of those, I accepted a job offer at Volta Energy. They're a relatively small company, but this role stood out to me because I get to work with them both as a mechanical engineer and content creator. First, on the mechanical engineering side, some of the things I'll get to work on include 1. Using Onshape to CAD design and build electronic enclosures. 2. Perform basic FEA and root cause analysis. 3. Create and update engineering drawings for sheet metal parts. 4. 3D print prototypes. 5. Design parts to be injection molded. Second, on the content creation side for them, I'm actually working on a second YouTube channel that's really centered around the engineering community. They help fund it and I host it. On this channel, we'll be making videos like project builds, hackathons where we bring people in, break them up into teams and have them compete to build stuff, and the team with the best build wins money. Or 6 versus 1 like Beta Squad, Iraq, or Jubilee type videos where let's say we have 6 medical students and 1 engineering student. The group doesn't know who is who, but they're supposed to talk amongst each other and figure out who is the fake one out of them. And obviously the winner wins a cash prize. And whatever other community-based idea that I think can be entertaining and valuable to you. Most of the videos on that channel won't just be talking head videos like this. Instead, they'll be more community-based, and I would love for you to be part of it. I'll put a form in the video description where you can put in your name, email, and background. So whenever I'm filming these community-based videos, I can let you know, and you can be part of it if that's something you want to do, of course. Oh, and make sure to subscribe to the new channel if you're interested. That being said, this role is quite unconventional, but here are a few reasons for why I chose to accept it. For the past 3 years, I've worked for Silicon Valley companies, however, this role isn't in California. But I accepted it for a few reasons. First, as you know, I went to the University of Waterloo and studied mechanical engineering there. Throughout my time there, and even after I graduated, there was this concept called Cali or Bust. If you went to Waterloo or currently go there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you don't, Cali or Bust basically means you're only considered a successful engineer if you get an internship or a full-time offer from a company in California. Anywhere else in the world, if you work as an engineer, you're considered not successful, aka you failed. This concept was literally engraved in me since I was in first year, so I knew that was the end goal. Once I achieved this goal and worked in California for a couple of years, I was like, now what? I felt like I was working in California just because people said I should be here, not because I genuinely wanted to be here. Deep down I knew if I could find a job with similar work and somewhat similar pay to a company in California but in Toronto, I'd much prefer that, especially if that role had some hybrid or remote flexibility. Second, the tech culture in California was a little bit toxic when I left. It has nothing to do with the actual companies, but some people that I have met there that got jobs in these companies tend to have this incredibly huge ego. Basically, just because they got a a job at a huge tech company and get a really good salary, they think they're so much better than everyone around them. A lot of them don't just want to succeed, but they want to succeed and make sure everyone around them fails. Not everyone is like that, but you're bound to meet people like that working in tech. Personally, I try to change this toxic narrative in engineering by lifting people up and helping them with some of the videos that I make. Because I think life is too short to constantly be one-upping each other and trying to beat the other person, because there's enough job and enough work and enough accomplishments and promotions to go around. Third, when I was younger, maybe in like first year or grade 12, I used to think that Silicon Valley companies had the best engineering in the world. But I found that whether you work in San Francisco, New York, Toronto, or London, all the engineering roles are actually quite similar. The only real difference between these cities is pay. So when I got this opportunity in Toronto with somewhat similar pay to California, I took it. Of course, the pay definitely isn't as high as a senior software engineer at Google, but it's good enough. Fourth, the tech space in Silicon Valley is very, very secretive. So making content about my life, about my engineering work is really difficult. I understand being private on certain things, but over there they take it to a huge level. For example, at my time at Serve Robotics, I only made one video related to my engineering work titled Day in the Life of a Mechanical Design Engineer. But when making this video, I had to get it approved by the CEO, VP of Communications, my manager, and a bunch of other people on the team. I definitely want to make more days in the life and share more of my engineering work, but I couldn't. Of course, I understand their point of view and it's their company, so they're free to do whatever they want. However, with my current role, I am able to share more of my work and share more of my day in the life with less restrictions, so I'm really looking forward to that. For example, if I'm sitting in an office filming myself talking to the camera about anything, doesn't even have to be work related, and all you see behind me is a white wall, nothing proprietary at all. If I share that video online, some companies in California will have a problem with it. Again, it's their company, they're free to do whatever they want, so in a role that I have right now, being able to combine both my engineering interests and my content creation interests is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm allowed to share more of my engineering work and my day in the life, and this company doesn't mind. As a matter of fact, they even encourage it. I can share some of my design projects and my thought process through them, and they're happy with it. So getting flexibility to share engineering content like this is a huge bonus for me. And this doesn't mean that I'll never go back to California or work in the tech industry there, but it just means that this is something that I think is super exciting for me to be doing right now. Finally, there's this quote that Steve Jobs says that continues to motivate me today, especially with anything professional or career oriented that I do.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is. Your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you.
That line is amazing. Everything around you that you call life is made up by people that are no smarter than you.
And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side.
This concept of not being afraid to hit the walls that society arbitrarily built around you and having the liberty to be able to do things a little bit differently than most people your age are doing is something that I try to do. Again, this doesn't mean that I'll never go back and work in California or anywhere else in the US for that matter, because I don't know what the future holds, but I think maybe working in Dubai in the UAE would be pretty cool. Now, if you're wondering how I even found this position, well, they actually reached out to me. They saw some of my videos on YouTube and the work that I've done in the past, and they asked to interview me. I sent them my resume, we had a few calls, negotiated my salary, and eventually got the job. The whole process probably took like 1 or 2 months. In terms of the resume they saw, I sent them this. It had all my most recent work experience as well as my portfolio. They did really seem to enjoy my happy project, because I guess making a project about peeing and tracking your pee is something they found to be pretty cool. Anyways, once I got the job offer, one of the first things I did was negotiate my salary. Engineering pay in California is definitely known to be much higher than Canada, but coming back here, I didn't want to get a huge pay cut. That being said, when my manager offered a salary, I immediately came back with a long list of values that I can provide based on my previous experience, and I gave him an ambitious number, especially for an engineering job in Canada. But he looked at my list and, after some thought, surprisingly, he said yes. So that was exciting, and it goes to show the the power of negotiation. Without getting into too much detail for now, I ended up getting 30k more per year than he originally offered. Anyways, I'm super excited about this role, and I'm super amped to be able to create engineering vlogs as well for you. If you've watched my job hunting process until now, I genuinely appreciate it, and I'm sure I'll have more banger videos to come. But for now, you can check out this video where I explained how I lost my previous engineering job, or you can check out this video, which is the day in the life at my previous job. Anyways, I'll see you in the next one. Peace!